You ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready.
Do you want to open us up today?
Would you like me to?
Okay. 3, 2,
Well, who's doing it?
1. Welcome back to episode 2. You nervous?
Ma, are you scared of it?
What you're doing matters more than just football. I don't know. We'll probably cut it.
We're so back.
That is terrible.
God bless.
We're going to start with a surprise segment. It's called Reflection Time. I have something to confess, Zach.
Okay. What you got for me?
I will openly confess that Zach in our competition is up 1-0. A lot of people have commented on my poor performance on the first podcast.
Embarrassing.
I think what really lost it for me was the cologne answer. Noah's missed is up there for one of the worst answers of all time.
That was brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. And I would also like to talk about the Madden ratings. I was thinking about that.
Okay.
Very confident with, I think I said 94 was my final answer. 92 maybe. I'm going to drop it to an 84.
Okay.
There's some D-line stuff I don't know.
Yeah.
Kicking.
But like anybody who would have seen that, to anybody who watched, it looked like you knew what you were talking about. And that's crucial.
We're going to do
Confidence
a test
is
one
big.
day.
We'll do a test one day. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm going to stick with an 84 until I can prove I know some D-line stuff.
Okay.
Everything else, though, I feel pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think bottom line, as far as competing on episode 1,
You're 1-0.
I blew you out of the water.
You're 1-0.
And it wasn't even close. But, you know, you have a chance to redeem yourself today.
Yep.
I don't think it will happen, but we'll see how it goes.
I wanted to touch on one other thing from episode 1. There was something that you said, and it kind of blew my mind. What was it? Okay, never mind. I really just wanted to touch on the cologne. I can admit that was the worst answer of all time.
Yeah,
But we're going to get past it.
That was a rough one.
When
but
you're rock bottom with an answer, you can only go up.
that's absolutely correct.
All right, great. Wow, surprise segment. We're not going to do that every time, but on some poor answers where everyone laughs.
When you lose real bad.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was real bad. It was bad, though.
Okay.
But, all right, 1-0 Zach. Okay. Segments for today's episode. We're going to talk about everything Jesus+Football does, kind of let the new listeners or people maybe good for the Instagram or just kind of let everyone know what we do. Got our quotes from the book that I write in. We're going to talk about some 7-on-7 football. Word of the day. And then we're going to blind rank some stuff. And we're going to see how everything goes. But we're going to get into it. Everything Jesus+Football does. Do you want to get us started with just a couple things?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the way that I look at it as, you know, coming on as a partner with the company recently is that the most important part of it is Jesus right? That's what's crucial. Football is very relative to you and I, right? It's been a massive part of our lives, but the most important part of it is Jesus It is really just bringing our faith to the forefront of everything that we do and using whatever it is, Jesus in football, Jesus in baseball, Jesus in hockey, Jesus in teaching, whatever you want to do to share the gospel, share the good word, share what the Lord has done for us, right? And like we talked about in episode 1, bring as many people to heaven with us as we can, right? So using whatever it may be, but the Jesus and being in the front is what's massive.
Absolutely.
Right?
And to add on to that, if I could, the main focus is not keeping the two separate. It's not Jesus or football. It's Jesus and football. I think another one we could use is Jesus with football. Jesus is not a Sunday thing, and football is Monday through Saturday. It's a Jesus and football thing. It's whatever you're doing. Jesus wants to be a part of that, and he wants to be incorporated in every aspect of your life. And I think that's good. And something like football where it's so heavy in our lives, but whatever it is in your life, whether it's work or your family, Jesus wants to be involved with all of that. So I think a big word that you forget in the title of Jesus+Football is and.
Right.
It's Jesus and football. Jesus wants to be a part of that. So, I mean, I really like what you said with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool to see the way that we've been able to kind of spread our wings a little bit in the community recently, getting to do the Bible studies, training sessions, which I've seen more relative to football, but really the things that we get to do that are stepping out of just that, you know, faith-based football activities, right? running the Bible studies and really trying to affect youth in the area, relate with other people in the area, partnering with, Shine Your Light. So now we have men's and women's Bible studies. Is really, really cool.
And high school
Bible
girls.
studies, boys and girls. Yep. And it's awesome to see the reach that we've been having recently and how it is all about keeping Jesus as the number one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To add on to that, I write a newsletter every single day, every single morning. It goes to over 200 people every single morning. And it's cool. Sometimes I think when you get in the repetitive stage of doing that and you do it every single day, I've done it every single day for the past two and a something years. I think you get into the repetitive stages of, okay, I just need to send this out and get it out. But
right.
I get texts every now and then of, thank you for that email today. That really impacted me. And I think that just is a reminder that, hey, your newsletter actually helps me, and it gets my day started on the right side of focusing on Jesus and not worrying about what I have to do today. So if you're interested and you want to get a daily newsletter from Jesus+Football, and it has nothing to do with football, sometimes it does, but it's more so focused on the Jesus part and just starting your day with Jesus, head to the website. Little shameless plug. Put your email in there, and you're going to get newsletters every single day. What else does Jesus+Football do? You got a TV show?
TV show.
We have a TV show coming out in the middle of the year. I don't know officially when it's going to come out, but it documented my whole football season last year, followed the camps, kind of just behind the scenes of getting ready for everything, which is a big deal. It's a lot of fun. We're getting ready to start filming season 2. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be on Bakira Network soon, and we're super excited with that. Camps, obviously, K through 12. We have a quarterback and receiver camp, which you and I are leading. 4-day camp. I'm super fired up for that. We're going to do kind of a documentary with that and kind of just filming, and super excited with that. Am I missing something? 7-on-7 tournament. You want to talk a little bit about that?
7-on-7 tournament. Yeah, 7-on-7 is a great opportunity, I think, to really hone in on your skills, get that little bit of football in the off season, because we know that we all start to miss it a little bit. But, like we've talked about, it's building those relationships. It's helping people grow closer to Jesus, helping them grow in their faith. And I think that what we've been able to do with that 7-on-7 is kind of those outward expressions of faith, right? I love the pictures of you huddled up with the guys praying before a game. It's showing that we don't have to be ashamed of our faith, and it's also not something that we have to keep separate, right? It's the same as what you said earlier. It's Jesus and, not Jesus then football or anything like that. It's putting the two together and using football to really show what God has done in our lives. Yeah. So I think the 7-on-7 tournaments are a great way to get involved. Really, like you said, you're still honing in on your skills, but also it's so much more than that. It's with a group of guys with common interests, trying to grow closer to God. I think that's awesome.
For sure. I think also with not only, so we have our 7-on-7 travel team. We have a 14 /15U and then an 18U, which is great. But we also do 7-on-7 tournaments for high schools. But going back to the travel team, I think when you wear the Jesus+Football logo on your chest and like you're a part of that team, I think it kind of holds you accountable. Mm-hmm. And, you'd kind of contradict yourself. And I mean, we're all guilty of it. Thank God for God's grace. But you would contradict yourself by praying right before the game and then going out in a 7-on-7 tournament and talking trash and doing all these crazy things that you shouldn't be doing. So I think it just kind of holds you accountable. But I think that's a perfect segue into talking about 7-on-7, which is the next part.
For sure.
7-on-7, is it real football? We haven't talked about this, so I think this is going to be a good.
We haven't talked about this. There's been no lead in.
2 parts of this, but is 7-on-7 real football? To you. I'm excited for this.
No, but not in the way that you're thinking.
Okay.
Right? Is it real football? No. Real football has more contact. Real football, from a quarterback's perspective, right? 7-on-7s, you're normally timed, right? There's a certain amount of time you have to get the ball out.
Yep.
But real football, there are a lot of people, coming after you while you've got to read and understand what's going on. No pads, you're not hitting, obviously. I've heard people call it the underwear Olympics. But in my opinion, 7-on-7 is not real football. Does that mean that 7-on-7 is not worth your time? Absolutely not. I think that 7-on-7 is very valuable. 7-on-7 taught me a lot about trying to read coverages and technique of DBs. I can speak specifically from a receiver perspective that 7-on-7, for me, helped me grow in my understanding of the overall game. And you're still honing on your skills, right? You're still making reads and throws. I still have to run routes and try to beat the guy in front of me, right? So 7-on-7, in my opinion, is not real football, but is worth it. Does that make sense?
I would agree 100% with that statement. I don't think it's real football either.
Yeah.
If you're going to football, or if you're going to 7-on-7 to a 7-on-7 tournament, joining a 7-on-7 team with the expectation that it is going to, one, get you offers, that's not even close. But I wasn't even thinking about that. But if you're going to 7-on-7 tournaments expecting to get the same experience as real football, you won't. There's a lot of different variables like you just talked about. But I also think that it can help your game as much as it can hurt your game in terms of the reads, in terms of the throws, or the routes. For example, if you have, as a quarterback, if you have 7 guys dropping every time, I mean, it'd be kind of nice to run.
Right.
You know what I mean? Also, in terms of a linebacker, as soon as the ball is snapped, say it's 1st and 15 or whatever, usually 1st and 15, as soon as the ball snapped, the linebacker, and say a Tampa 2, and he's just carrying it 25 yards. Yeah. That's not realistic at all. And so I think there's bits and pieces that hurt real football and messes with a quarterback's mindset or a receiver of, okay, that guy should not have been there. Who's covering the run? But as far as relationships go, 7-on-7, I don't think is real football, but I think 7-on-7 was one of the most fun things I ever did in high school associated with football. Yeah. 7-on-7 tournaments are like AAU basketball tournaments. They're an absolute blast. You're playing with your boys. It's at the end of the day, it's like who's got better athletes, to be honest. In my personal opinion, I think, there's some scheme and, everything, but at the end of the day, if you're better than your opponent, you're going to win. That's just my perspective. Do you think it's good or bad for football?
I think it's good for football. I think that you got to be careful who you listen to, right? For sure. People telling you can really you'll get offers from 7-on-7 is extremely few and far between. Because most people it's not real football. Like, it's not the same type of deal.
How many guys have we played with that are freaks at 7-on-7? And not to be mean, you get on the football field and they look like they don't belong.
Well, it's different. It's
100%.
And you're running around, no pads on, and it's just kind of it's street football.
Yep.
And
it gets different when there's a big linebacker there.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it being a different version of the game.
Yeah.
I just think you have to be real careful who you listen to, right? I agree with you about relationships, right? You and I met through 7-on-7.
Very true.
I've made a lot of great relationships with friends I still keep in touch with through 7-on-7 that I never would have met otherwise. Coaches who have checked in on me over the years. Coaches who I can still call and talk to if I have a question or if I needed help with something, right?
Absolutely.
There are great people out there who are going to get you everything 7-on-7 can get you. I think you just got to be careful with who it is you're listening to and what you're buying into.
Yeah.
Because it's not the be-all and end-all by any means.
For sure.
As far as what people are going to think of you as a football player.
Yeah, 100%. That's good stuff. Oh boy.
That'll
preach.
That'll preach, baby.
That'll preach. With that being said, Jesus+Football Travel Team 2026. Join
Cheap
now.
Plug. Cheap plug. Jesus+Football.
Yes.
Travel 7-on-7 Team.
We're getting
2026.
after it.
It
was fun this past year. We played in 3 tournaments. Won one of them.
I was going to say, you and I never won one together.
We never did.
Never.
I think we played in 32 championships and lost every one of them.
You and me?
Yeah.
Horrible winning percentage in championship games.
I think, obviously we were 0 in championships, but other than that, I want to say we were about win percentage, I don't know, at least 950.
Until it mattered.
Exactly.
We choked.
I don't know. What's our deal?
No.
Can't handle pressure.
No.
Our 7-on-7 record together is probably 108. And all 8 are either semis or championship.
Yeah, brutal in the finale.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Quotes from the book.
Yeah, man.
Loves this book. New one or old one today?
Old one.
Old one.
Deep in the bag today.
Let's do it. Tell me when.
When?
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. When you get what you want, that's God's direction. When you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. Talk about that.
That's interesting.
I feel like
I don't get a lead
to,
into these.
I know. Well, I don't either. But I also feel like I need to preview what we're going to talk about for the episode so I can make sure that I still agree with it because I wrote that like 6 years ago. No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's good.
When you get what you want, that's God's direction. Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the Bible anyway, it talks about seek and you will find, ask and you shall receive. A lot of times, younger kids see that verse and they're like, okay, I want a nice car. Like that simple. I want to be insane at football. One of the kids at the Bible study last week said that when he was younger, he would pray for abs. He prayed for a six-pack. And he wouldn't get them. And he's like, okay, God must not love me. That's what we talked about. And so that is not the case at all. But when you are asking, when it says ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, when it talks about that, what it means is if it aligns with God's plans and you pray for it and you truly want it for your life and it aligns with God's direction for your life, you're going to get it. No doubt about it if you work hard for it. And I think that's a whole nother step that we can take is, God, I want to be really good at football, but you never touch a football until you step on the field on Friday nights. That's not how God works, not even close. But it's the same thing for the plan that God has set for your life. When you are focused on, God gives you talents, and what you do with those talents is God's gift back, or is your gift back to God. And so when you ask for things from God, you need to also be willing to work for them. But also he's going to give them to you if it aligns with your plans. On the flip side, when you don't get when you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. I think a lot of times we see things and we want them in the moment, and we don't get them when we get mad and we get discouraged. But God has something better in store for us. God either says no, just simply no. He says not yet, or he says I have something better for you. And I think those things are extremely important. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that verse or that quote.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And I mean, you hit on a lot of really, really good points. I think that, sometimes we, especially when we're younger, a little bit of misconception about what some things might mean, right? So you see the things like seeking you'll find and asking you shall receive.
Yeah.
In your head, especially when you're younger, can kind of give you this genie in a bottle image of God. And that's not how it goes, right? So the first part of that was, well, when you get what you want,
that's God's direction.
It's God's direction. I agree with that. I think that at times that can manifest in different ways than exactly what we're thinking, right? Like, oh, I wish this would happen, right? It'll make me feel happier. And that might not happen, but later down the road, God does something different that in a surprising way, you feel better, you feel more juiced up and inspired, right? Things can manifest in different ways according to his plan, not what we think is best, right? Oftentimes what we think is best doesn't, perfectly line up with God's plan for our lives, right? And it's a matter of being open, I think, to his calling and really, really listening to what God is telling you, right? When you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. I do agree with that. I think, sometimes you can see a lot of different things and think, if I had this, I'd be happy, right? If I had that many Instagram followers, I'd be happy. If I had that car, I'd be so happy. If I had this much money or this many offers, I'd be so, so happy. And that's not what creates real happiness, right? And sometimes I think, at least in my experience personally, some of those kind of shallow things that we might think we want, God withholds maybe or drives us in a different direction, ultimately leading us to realize that he's what makes us happy, right? A relationship with Jesus is what will sustain us, make us happy, really give us that long-term peace and contentment that I think we all truly, truly desire. So I think that's a very, very good quote. And to write that a long time ago would have been pretty young for you.
Now, really?
Little
It wasn't that it wasn't that long ago. I think I started this book my freshman year of college, which I guess would be a long time ago.
That was a while ago.
37. Yeah, I started this book my freshman year of college, and I really took a break from it for a while, focused on like writing in my Bible more. But yeah, I picked back up and then finished, and then now I'm on to my second book. That's awesome. Great thoughts.
Absolutely.
Next up, word of the day. This kind of goes into everything that we were talking about. I think I told you to get prepared for it. Word of the day or discussion of the day, social media. Man, you want to get this one started?
I can get started with this.
It's a hot topic.
I actually had some time to prepare for this one today. Noah actually told me about this one. But social media in the world today, I think, can do so many really cool things, but a lot of really dangerous things and a lot of not great things as well. I think that, I've seen a lot of very inspirational quotes on social media, some videos that have helped me kind of refocus my thoughts on God, some things that have helped me understand maybe a piece of scripture that I would not have been able to wrap my own mind around, right? Yeah. Social media is not 100% bad, like some people might want you to believe. But I do think social media is just a dangerous place because it's creating this generation, and not to say that you and I aren't affected by it, because I know that I've definitely felt it,
for sure,
of this kind of this instant gratification, right? I post something and I want to make it my absolute best pictures from a game or something like that. And then, you check it every so often. Man, this many people liked my picture. That's really cool. That makes me feel good for a second. And it's that kind of instant, I guess, validation that we all want, but it's not sustainable, right? And I believe I said it last podcast, maybe not, but I do believe that comparison is the thief of all joy, right?
Yep.
I look at this person and they have all of this going on, and maybe I start to feel like I'm slacking off and I'm behind. Why aren't I there yet? Why can't I have all these things? Social media, I think, can lead you down the right paths if that's what you're looking for. But the enemy finds his way to work into social media too. Yep. And using social media to work into our thoughts, the back of our minds, and really kind of invade that space. So I think that you have to be very careful about what it is you're seeking out on social media and how it is you're taking it. Because like we talked about, that's everyone's best. You're putting on the best face you can on social media.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
I just think that it's a very interesting line to walk across.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think all great stuff. That's a great quote. Comparison is the thief of joy because you're always looking for something better. Absolutely. Because I think at the end of the day, to go off that quote, comparison is the thief of joy because happiness and joy are two different things. When you compare, you're looking to be happier, quote unquote, than other people. Happiness is circumstantial. Happiness is right now. Joy is eternal. Nobody can take your joy. There's a big difference. Ice cream makes me happy. Jesus gives me joy. When I don't get ice cream and I'm mad or whatever, I still have joy. And I think so. Comparison is the thief of joy because when we compare, we're looking to be happy rather than to have joy. So I think that's really good. I think social media can be the devil. I think there's very good things that social media can do, but I think social media can be the devil. But I also think that it can be your God. I don't think it can be God, but I think it can be your God. And what I mean by that is it ends up being the devil because you idolize social media. Like you said, you want likes, you want comments, you want followers.
Devoting your time to it, you think?
Exactly. Yeah. I think when you're so focused on that stuff and posting the highlights of your life, you lose track of reality. Because reality is you have ups and you have downs in your life. You don't have constant highlights. If you post every single day, every highlight that you have, that's not real. That's just not reality. And so when you're looking at social media constantly and looking for the approval and comparing yourself to other people and going through theirs, I think you lose track of reality because the reality is people's lives are not as good as they make it out to be on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, and we can. This is the football part of the Jesus Football podcast offers. when you go on someone's Instagram and you see all these offers, when I was in high school, I got jealous.
Yeah.
I want those big time offers. I want to post #blessed, AGTG, all glory to God. I'm so grateful that I got this offer, thankful to receive my 77th offer from wherever. I think that stuff, I think the kids nowadays, and even us back then, I think we worried about the quantity of offers rather than the quality of offers. I didn't have any big time offers. I went and played Division III football. I'm still playing Division III football. But we were so focused on getting those big time offers that we didn't find the right place. I met all of my best friends at this small school, quote unquote, because I found the right place. And so I think to a lesson for the young bucks out there looking for offers and worried about all these offers that they're not getting or not receiving when they think they should, focus on finding the right places for school and focus on building the right relationships that are going to lead you past football, because football is going to end one day.
Right.
I think another thing is, I think you and I both could have played divisions up. And I think sometimes we're worried, oh my gosh, why are we not going D1? Everyone has the D1 dream. We all have the D1 dream. With that being said, though, how many times do we see everyone entering the portal from Division III to go D1 now? There was a safety that had the most insane numbers. He was up for like the D3 Heisman last year, and he transferred to the University of Wisconsin. It's things like that. So don't get discouraged when you don't have those offers. Just go be a dog. And because if you're so good that you think you should play D1, you would be an All-American at Division III. And, it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think that offers are a difficult thing to figure out, and every kid wants to get those offers. You start to worry, are they ever going to come through? What's going to happen? What's next? Where am I going to end up? Everyone's getting offers but me. What do I do? And I think that you just got to slow your mind down a little bit and understand that it is about finding the right place, right? I grew up with the Division I dream, just kind of like every kid does. And now I play Division III football at Elma, and I could not possibly be more happy with where I'm at. I love that place. I love those people, the relationships you form, like we talk about a lot, the relationship piece. And I'm not saying you can't have this at Division I by any means. I just think I found my perfect spot in Division III, in a place where I'm valued more than just what I do on the field, but valued as a person. Yeah. And I think that's important, and you got to focus on that in all aspects of life. And social media can be the cause of a lot of stress for a lot of people.
For sure.
But to remember that within God's timing, everything's going to work out how it's supposed to.
Yeah. And I think you still get those relationships and the people that care at the Division I level. But regardless of what level you play at the end of the day, football is going to end. You will stop playing football eventually. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, has stopped playing football. And guess what? Hopefully he has 50 more years of life. And so it's just like, I think there was a video where he won some Super Bowls, and then the video, he's just like, okay, what now? There's got to be more to this. And it's just like things like that tell you football's going to come to an end one day, and what you have after that, I mean, it's not playing football anymore. So don't put your full identity in getting offers when 10 years down the road you're going to be done playing football. All right. Any other thoughts with that? That was good.
That'll preach, man.
That was good. I think these young bucks need to hear it.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Blind rankings.
Noah's going to lose again.
It's 1-0 right now. Zach Poff.
It's a big 1-0 though.
It's always good to get the first one. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
How do we figure out who wins this? People who tell us, who listen to the podcast and tell us who wins?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right. We both have what, 2 things, right?
I got 2 categories for you.
How about this? You go first.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay.
And then I'll go again.
Snake draft.
Finished.
Snake draft it.
Yep.
Snake draft it. All right.
All right.
I'll even let you pick the category you want. Breakfast cereals first or quarterbacks?
See, we already got into the disagreement last episode with the breakfast cereals. Fruity Pebbles is the best cereal, but go ahead. We can do that one first. We can go cereal.
Cereal?
We will go cereal.
Right,
and Raisin Bran, delicious.
All right.
Delicious.
All right, here we go. Blind ranking these breakfast cereals without knowing which one comes next. First one you got, the GOAT, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
5.
You're You're just trying to be different.
You know what? You're right.
You're just trying to be different.
I'll go 4. The most overrated.
You're just trying to be different.
I'm really no. It's mine. Is it mine?
Yes.
Oh wait. Well, now here's the thing though. If this is mine, my personal opinion, like people, if they don't agree with it, then they're just going to give you the win. So do I need to rank it for the people?
I would rank it for your personal opinion, but I don't even think you believe the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
A 4. You know what I mean? Should we make it for the people?
You lost.
For the people.
You lost.
For the people?
Right there, you lost.
All right, I'm going to go 4, and I'm going to stick to my gut, and you got to stick to your gut. Forget everyone else.
Yeah.
4.
I'll stick to my gut.
4.
You're insane.
4.
Reese's Puffs.
Ooh. Those are good. Let's go 2.
Okay. All right.
Let's go 2.
All right. Apple Jacks.
See, this is where it gets hard, because if I go 3 right now, it's either 1 or 5.
Yeah.
But Apple Jacks are way better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's not true.
But they're not better. I have to go 3. You set me up for failure. I'm going to go 3. You set me up for failure. I'm going to go 3. Let's go. Lock it in.
All right, you're
2, 3,
pigeonholing
4.
yourself 1 and 5 now.
I know.
You got 1 and 5 open?
I'm going to, yep.
All right, with
He's
1 and
changing the cereals as he goes.
1 and 5. No, I'm not.
Yep, cereals.
No, I'm not.
1 and 5. Let's go.
With 1 and 5 left. All right, next you got Frosted Flakes.
They're good. Underrated, I think. I think they're underrated. I haven't had cereal in a very long time, but they're very underrated. 5. I got to. I have to. And you're going to set me up for failure. He's going to go like the...
No, actually. Your number 1 then is Raisin Bran.
Oh, great.
Which is it might be the worst list I've ever seen in my life.
That's a great list. I'm so satisfied right now. That's a great list. I thought you were going to set me up for failure.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch at 4.
So give me them back. Give me them back. I don't think I'd change it. I think that's a perfect list. I'm very happy.
So your number 1 is Raisin Bran.
Yep.
Number 2 is Reese's Puffs.
Yep.
Number 3 is Apple Jacks. Number 4 is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number 5 is Frosted Flakes.
The perfect list.
No, it's not. You don't believe that.
Probably because I'd put Cinnamon Toast Crunch at 5.
You are
I'd put
insane.
Frosted Flakes at 4.
Great list. You're going to make me angry.
Great
this
list.
Is absolutely ridiculous.
Who's going to be the first one to stand up on the podcast?
I was close.
We can't, though, because
No,
we
you
will
can't
be out
get
of
out of
frame.
the camera.
Yeah. Stand up and, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We got to move
That's
on.
a strong start by me. Strong start. All right. Pizza toppings or football movies?
Football movies.
I made 7 just in case you didn't know them.
Okay.
Number 1, The Blind Side.
I'll tell you what. Great movie.
Yep.
Great movie.
Yep.
And a little while ago, I probably would have put it at 2. I'm going to put it at 3. And I'm going to give myself some wiggle room. But I've also been soured on it from the stuff that, the stuff that came out afterward.
Yeah.
But straight up, great film. Great film.
Here's what I'm going to say about blind rankings. I feel like when you go 3 for your first pick, I think you're really safe. I think you're on a very strong start. I didn't do that, and I still turned out a great list.
I feel like when you go 4 for your first spot for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, you are insane.
That's personal opinion. Okay. So what was that? 3? That's good. That's
3.
good. That's good. All right, number 2, Radio. Great movie.
Radio?
Yeah. You never seen Radio?
5.
Okay.
5.
Wow, that might have lost. That might have done it.
No.
Wow.
5.
Buddy. Okay.
5.
Why?
It's not good.
It's top tier hater. I mean, you want to we can be done.
No.
We can cut the episode.
No, I'm mopping the floor with you right now.
Okay, We Are Marshall. Matthew McConaughey.
I know the movie.
Have you seen Radio?
No. So I put it at 5.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, well then say that.
No, put it at 5. You got to give me 5. I'll rank it.
I have more if you haven't seen it.
No, I'm putting it at 5.
You just ruined it, but okay.
4 for We Are Marshall.
Wow, dude.
Because you're going to give me 2 great ones right
I think
now.
the doozy for the 1-0 Zach Poff is really starting to show.
No.
It's basically if I fall apart, you win. If I do good, I win. Because you're falling apart. You're crumbling. All right. When the game stands tall.
2.
That's a good list. You did good.
Yeah, I know.
When the game stands tall, for me, and I mean, top tier.
Okay.
Great movie. I love that movie.
But you're going to give me one that belongs in 1 right now.
I am. Friday Night Lights.
Yep. Clean sweep.
1 and
Get
2
the brooms
are great.
out. Get the brooms out.
I don't think so. I think you fell apart with 3, 4, and 5. All right.
What would you do different?
Number 1, Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
Number 2, When the Game Stands Tall.
Correct.
Number 3, Blindside.
Yeah, you wouldn't change anything right now.
Number 4, We Are Marshall.
Okay.
And number 5, Radio.
What would you change?
I would probably push We Are Marshall and The Blind Side back and put Radio at 3.
Okay. All right. We're not that far off.
It was very disrespectful for Radio. But then
not
again,
that
you
far.
said you didn't see it, so
I
I
put it at
that's
5.
why I had another movie in there.
What else would you have given me?
Draft Day.
I would have put that at 5.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
You're bringing on.
All right, so it's 1-1 right now.
Sure.
No, well, if you're admitting it, but we're gonna let the people talk. But it's
Okay. All right.
okay.
All right.
More than likely 1-1. All right, blind rank some pizza toppings.
'Kay.
Number 1, bacon.
Just bacon by itself. Like what
Yeah,
you're giving me
that's a
right now?
tough
Is
one.
it a cheese pizza with just this topping?
Oh, you pick. That's a great.
We'll go with.
We'll
I feel
go.
like
We'll
I
go
can-
pepperoni, like a base topping, and then adding this.
Okay. 2.
It's pretty bold.
2.
It's bold.
Because you're not going to be upset about it. You know?
You're not gonna pick it off.
No.
Okay, 2's kind of high, but just kidding.
If I would have went 3, you would have given me junk for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Onions.
5. Oh, no shot. No shot.
See, now I'm learning how to kind of do these blind rankings because, like, at the very bottom, I should give you like anchovies, and then you're screwed. You know what I mean?
But you're not going, so you're going
I
to
messed
get
up.
anchovies right now.
No, pepperoni.
1.
It's a safe. I feel like it's safe.
There's no one in the world who'd get a pepperoni pizza and be upset about it.
People who don't like pepperoni.
No.
Pineapple.
I got 3 open. 3.
You got 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3.
And ham.
4.
You happy with it?
Money.
I feel like I really helped you there.
I crushed that.
I feel like I just kind of set you up.
I crushed that.
I think I messed up more than you did good.
I crushed that.
Good to know. I'm learning. It's a learning curve.
You ready for this one?
Once again, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to
Blind
comment
ranking
on that.
all-time NFL quarterbacks without knowing who comes next.
Yep.
Joe Montana.
3. Argument for 2? I don't know.
Argument for
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
He is 2.
Okay. Keep going. I love this. I love this. I love this.
Terry Bradshaw.
My roommate, freshman year, Papa Don, he's the biggest Steelers fan.
Okay.
So like
You're going to upset him right now?
I'm really gonna upset him just because he drives me nuts with the Steelers stuff. We
Okay.
had a lot of Steelers fans. I'm gonna go 4.
4.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go 4.
All right. Okay. Patrick Mahomes.
Here's what I'm trying to think: is are you doing like a standard list of the top 5, and like is Tom Brady in one of those last 2 spots?
That would be the question.
That is the question. What do I did? Joe Montana 3,
Yeah.
Terry 4.
Yep.
I have to go 2,
2 for Mahomes.
and I'm comfortable with that. I
Okay.
think Mahomes is 2 on my list.
Okay.
He's 2.
All right.
He's
All right.
2.
John Elway.
Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to go 5, and this is either going to be a great list or it's going to be a terrible list. So I'm going to go 5 for John Elway.
5 for John Elway.
And then you're probably going to throw
John
in
Elway
Mark
is a worse
Sanchez.
quarterback than
That's why
Terry
he's at
Bradshaw.
5. Give me the last one, and it's probably going to be Mark Sanchez.
That's Tom Brady.
Yeah, great list. Great list.
That one was good.
1, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
2, Patrick Mahomes, which is my comfortable 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Montana's 3.
Yep.
And Terry's 4.
No,
and
he's not.
He's 5.
No, he's
The
not.
way you gave him to me, though, that's a great list.
Yeah, you did well.
I think I did better than you on the second one because I helped you on the second one.
No.
That
You know
was
what
fun.
opinions are like.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good stuff. Let the people talk.
Let the people
Who
talk.
won the blind rankings for we did football movies versus
Breakfast cereal.
breakfast cereals, and then we did pizza toppings versus ranking
All-time
the
quarterbacks.
I might have swept you this episode.
Allegedly.
I
Allegedly.
might have swept you this episode. Okay. That's all we got for episode 2. We will see you back on episode 3.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to add? We don't really have an outro yet.
No outro yet.
Can we say the like, comment, subscribe? Can we be
Probably.
those people?
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe,
Turn on post
turn on
notifications.
post notifications, click the bell.
Don't do any of that. Yeah,
Unless you want
could.
to.
You should.
Yeah.
Follow us on Jesus+Football, Instagram,
On everything.
Facebook, TikTok. We don't have anything on TikTok yet, but we're working on it.
We're going to get there, baby.
Awesome.
That's all I got for you.
You guys have a great day.
God bless.